So this video is going to introduce the concept of the 4 zones. The 4 zones are essentially 4 areas on that front wall that, if you watch any given match, if you were to have some hot spots, you would see the better players around are putting the ball in those 4 zones pretty much a lot of the time. They are varying their height, they're varying their length, they're varying their pace. And in simple terms, the 4 zones are zone 1 between middle line and down, zone 2 between that line and the service line, and zone 3 and 4 a little bit higher up, can't reach that high. If you draw a middle line between the service line and the top line, that's zone 3 and zone 4. So zone 1 starting at the bottom and zone 4 right at the top. Each one of these zones has different key elements that we're going to go through bit by bit in these next few videos. But the key to this is using the zones to have some variation. And it's all about the second bounce. The second bounce is imperative. That's what the top players are able to do, is the second bounce will be able to find a way to that back part of the court in your length doing some sort of damage. Whether it's a real aggressive low skidding second bounce, whether it's a little bit more hot ball that rebounds into the glass or sits down on the glass. For me, that's where you want to start to bring some variation into your length, is being mindful of the second bounce, but actually, how do you get that ball to the second bounce? What are you doing with your grip, your angle, your racket face, in particular the 4 zones on that front wall? And I urge you to use those 4 zones. Very common, zone 1 and 2 get used a lot. You know, zone 3 sometimes, zone 4 not so much at the amateur level. At the higher game, you probably see the extremities happening. You see zone 1 and 4 getting paired up a bit. Yes, zone 2 and 3 happen quite a lot, but the better players are able to use all of those zones in different times. And what you want to be mindful of when you're trying to hit into the 4 zones, I really would encourage you to connect your body weight, your rhythm, your flow, your timing to it. It's not just the stand, let's deliver this ball and put it through to the back. Because for me, that doesn't give you this idea of the second bounce, what the second bounce is doing. It doesn't really give you good weight on the ball. It doesn't really give you good fade on the ball. The idea about softening your knees, softening your hips, linking your movement, linking your back foot slide into the shot. All of these areas are essential when coming to use those 4 zones and having an effective length that does something in the back corner. And for me, the idea of purpose, the word purpose comes to mind. Whenever I'm using those 4 zones or encouraging players to use them, it's being mindful and it's having a purpose. If you can test it out and nudge it and move the game here, move the game there, move the game from zone 1 to 4, then 4 to 2, the whole time your opponent is the one that's going to have to be second guessing themselves. So watch some of these videos, good luck trying it yourself, and start to really experiment within those 4 zones.